r/AskReddit. What's your local controversy? A woman known as a pretty awful person disappeared. Everyone knows it was probably her husband, but the family owns over 10,000 acres and no body has been found. The rest of her family is ramping up an awareness campaign, so should be interesting to see where this all goes. I would listen to a podcast about this. It honestly could end up being one, it sounds like. She just went missing last fall, and all the signs and billboards went up a couple weeks ago. Lots of small town drama around the family also. I have a hunting buddy with the state police and got to hear about quite a bit of it. Town of about 1,800. The girls' volleyball coach got a DWI. The school's principal went to pick her up from jail and was arrested for DWI himself. Somehow it got out that these two, both married, were having an affair. This the type of gossip I was hoping for here, lol. Not current, but it needs to be documented in history, the serial catnapper. A couple lost their cat, so they went knocking door to door in our town and came across their cat crying in a random home's front window. They call the police, who arrive and find 50+ missing cats, along with a fudging graveyard of cats in the garden. Some that had been missing for up to 7 years. It culminated in the catnapper, a 50+-year-old woman, stuffing as many cats as she could in a car and going on a police chase through our little town. Most of the cats were identified and taken home, a very small few went to rescue centers, and the catnapper is currently going under mental health treatment. Apparently she just took home any cat she saw while on a walk for the last 7 years. This happened about a couple years back, but I had to tell the tale. Just trying to imagine crazy catnapper lady trying to drive at high speed with 50 cats in the car with her. In my imagination, none of them are caged. People here in my town of 396 still upset that the local Christmas tree was taken down and thrown away with all the lights still on it. I would be too. What a waste. Yay, and now they're gonna have to pay for new decorations next year. Fudge that. City council screwed it up, city council can pay. My country is the size of a small town. One problem at the moment is that we have these things called roundels. They are kinda-like roundabouts, but no one has right of way. And there's no lanes. You just drive wherever you want and people are getting super angry about it, even though nothing's bad happened since they opened them. Andorra? Based on comment history, it looks like Isle of Man. You love what? If the local horse dentist is actually a licensed horse dentist. Scrolled all the way down. I've read some shit by now. And this is the one. Unless there are multiple people with that specialty hanging around, you don't question the people that work on your horse's teeth. I can't shake this picture in my head of a horse cracking a big Mr. Ed smile and having the biggest, brightest set of pearly whites east of Los Angeles. The woman who just got elected mayor owns most of the property downtown, and all the open seats on city council went to her employees. Can't wait to see the corruption in action. Local government is eye-wateringly corrupt most places. My granddad and uncle worked for years and years as a father-son home building operation. Just a couple of honest, hardworking builders. Well, in the 80s, townhomes started to be really big, and consequently my grandfather bought some property with the aim of building some, but he needed to go before the city council to get the zoning changed. They told him to go kick rocks, of course. Well, there was a real estate fat cat on the council who voted no along with the others. So what did this guy do after shooting it down? He immediately bought up that land, had the zoning changed, and built rows of townhouses. Swans in the local rivers, lakes have been dying from avian flu, and we've all been warned to keep our dogs away from sick or dead swans in case infection spreads to humans. No luck with them swans then? Small town with 3,000 inhabitants. Everyone knows each other, everyone knows where everyone works, who is related to whom, and so on. Still, my cousin doesn't know who is the father of her child. You set this post up perfectly. The 1989 Denver Broncos. About 2 years ago, the mayor of the town I live in got caught with drunk driving his lawnmower down Main Street at around 2 a.m., about 6 weeks after being elected. Edit. I can't wrap my head around the fact that my mayor getting drunk and driving a lawnmower would become one of my most upvoted comments, but here we are. Honestly, given all the corrupt BS local politicians get into, if that was the worst a mayor or city councilor did, I'd be okay with it. If it was just a lawnmower, not a car. Yeah, that is fair, still kind of funny though. Travel baseball. There is a new organization in town that is absolutely blood-sucking money out of parents of 7 to 12-year-olds and they have no clue. As someone who comes from a small town where this is pretty prevalent, it can become a pit. The actual organizations are set up in a city about 20 minutes away, but a lot of the tournaments were taking place at a pair of bars that have playing fields on them. The tournaments make the bars a lot of money because of these tournaments, and people try to argue that it's great that the money is staying in the community, though most people don't realize it's going into the pockets of two guys that are huge sleaze bags that were the ones to originally bring the travel leagues into town. They just built a new Verizon in town, but someone started a rumor that it was also going to be a Panera Bread. Someone went as far as to mark it on Google Maps as a Panera, even though the building is clearly a single store with Verizon signage. We currently have a similar situation. Town of 3,700. Old grocery store was leveled and a gas station is being built. Someone started a rumor it was a Sonic. An announcement was made clarifying the new establishment is not Sonic, it's just a gas station mini-mart. The town Facebook group is livid. People are now attacking the town government for the loss of Sonic, even though it was never going to be a Sonic. It must be the tater tots. There's also a pig that keeps getting loose and wandering down the state highway. The owner is convinced someone is letting it out, but finding a way to avoid the trail cameras he set up. The pig is just trying to get to the nearest Sonic. Lol, the mayor has a personal feud with this one guy that has an emotional support pig while living in the village. Housing farm animals are illegal within the village. Something similar is going on near me. An autistic kid has had a pet pig for the last 10 years. Everyone in the neighborhood is cool with it, love the kid and the pig, but suddenly someone new moves on the street. New people want the pig gone. The whole street wants these new people to shut up or leave, and the pro-pig people will succeed one way or another. I hope they succeed. How much harm can the pig bring to the new people? They're still trying to figure out who is black. The village has 249 people. On the census, everyone reported white except one person who reported biracial or something, and now the demographics show that the town is 0.7% black. Someone got a 23andMe test. The biracial individual is also 0.7% black. 2 years ago there were horrible fires in the valley I live in. 3 people burned to death, tons of houses and businesses lost. We are still recovering. The city decided this statue would be the best way to honor the victims. The back lights up to look like fire. Yup, a statue showing 3 people on fire is how they wanted to honor the victims. In poor taste and poorly executed. That's a 2 for 1. Seriously, why did they put baby heads on lumpy bodies without inner thighs? That's not a commentary on the human form or the range of people who suffered, it's just bad. A woman on the city council constantly spouts about cleaning up the admittedly horrible drug problem in town and goes on sanctimonious rants on social media about it. Her son is the main dealer in town. He lives in her house. It's not a secret at all, and he gets arrested for shit all the time, and she gets him off the hook every time. Full disclosure, I don't live there anymore, thankfully, but most of my family does. Edit, I honestly wouldn't be surprised if it is to thin competition. Although to be perfectly honest, a town is only like 1,000 strong, and he really doesn't have competition. Mostly because people know his mom can pull a few strings and fuck you over, or just run you out of town. Please stop buying drugs from my son, I can't get him to stop selling them. Edit, didn't expect this to be my most upvoted comment, definitely meant it as a sarcastic comment. A woman found a dog and tried to find the owner for a day or two. She then took it to a rescue. Owner of dog post looking for dog and she let him know the rescue. Owner calls rescue who now will not return dog due to owner negligence. Woman who found dog is now getting pooped on. That's unfortunate for everyone, including the dog. Was it really negligence? Sometimes no matter how hard you try, your wily ass dog finds a way to go on an adventure. The dog looked fine from the posted pictures. From what I understand so far, owner had been looking for him but wasn't on Facebook. The woman who gave the dog to the rescue is trying to help get the dog back and has called the rescue, but they still refuse to give the owner their dog back. The anger she's getting is we have a local dog shelter that is no kill, and if she'd taken it there it'd have been the most logical place most people would check first, but she went straight to a rescue. Dalila from the Love Song Request radio show that's been on for like 30 years lives here and has been trying to convince all the downtown business owners to paint their storefronts pastel. It's a real kerfuffle. You mean Dalila, like Dalila After Dark? One time my mother and I were driving home from a nearby town and she had the program on. A woman calls in asking Dalila to dedicate a song to her parents because they supported her through a history of self-harm, cutting, and help her get help and get better and all that. It was all sweet and touching and all that until the song Dalila chose comes on, and I was so shocked by her choice I had to laugh. She played the first cut is the deepest for the parents of a woman who used to cut as a form of self-harm. My mom used to listen to this all the time when I was young. I remember some sad sack of a woman called in crying with a long list of misfortunes, cat died, got fired, etc. etc. She was practically sobbing, asking Dalila to play her something to cheer her up. Dalila chose Chumbawamba. I was like, ma'am, someone died, how dare you? Our mayor posted a bunch of revenge porn photos of his ex on Reddit. His office and home were raided in August, charges were announced in November. He finally stepped down from office last week after his plea bargain was denied by the judge, and his trial is set for April. Shortly after his arrest, his current fiancée called a DC radio morning show to defend him on air. I'm sure you can imagine all of the drama. It always amazes me when people ruin their own lives in spectacular fashion. My family thought that the term Karen being used on Facebook specifically meant the woman named Karen that works at the gas station near me. I had mentioned her once at home, and my mom was like, oh, everyone hates her on Facebook right now. They all think she's a snitch. That's such a mom thing to do.